He said my 4-year build was his birthday gift. I turned his own livestream into career suicide. I'm 34, running a high-end fabrication shop. My husband, Elias, is great. His father, Richard, and his brother, Vance, are toxic parasites. They survive on trust funds, arrogance, and the labor of others. Vance was 29, desperate for internet fame, and treated like royalty. Richard invited me to lunch to allegedly plan Vance's upcoming 30th birthday. I assumed he wanted to commission a paint job. Instead, he leaned over his scotch and declared I should hand over the keys and registration to the matte black Bronco I had spent 4 years rebuilding from a rusted shell. I made him repeat it because the sheer audacity scrambled my brain. Nope, he said I owed Vance a massive favor after giving him a standard watch for his last birthday. Heat climbed my neck and my vision blurred. I stood up so violently my chair scraped the hardwood. I don't owe anyone my masterpiece, I hissed. I'm not a free assembly line for your arrogant son. I walked straight out. At home, Elias laughed for 2 seconds, assuming it was a joke. Then he saw my face. Looking back, that was the moment he realized how delusional his bloodline actually was. He assured me we were absolutely not gifting my magnum opus to his brother. The next afternoon, Richard drove to my garage. He wasn't apologizing. He claimed Vance was entering his 30s, lacked a flagship brand asset, and my truck would secure his clout. I asked why Vance didn't just buy a Porsche. Richard called factory cars a risk and told me to get the assembly line back into action. Elias intercepted him. That Bronco is a piece of art, not a disposable party favor, Elias snapped. Richard threw a tantrum, blaming my stubbornness for Vance's stalled career. He stormed out. A week later, Richard returned with Vance. Vance was suddenly wearing driving gloves and acting like the title was already his. He hugged Elias and asked when delivery day was happening because Dad had spoiled the surprise. Vance claimed he was ecstatic to be the face of such a legendary build and had already ordered custom plates. Elias shut it down immediately, but Vance wouldn't drop it. You're being incredibly selfish, Vance snapped. This is your chance to elevate the family name. We are not a charity dealership, and you cannot custom order my blood and sweat, I whispered. He kept rambling about how much exposure he would give my shop. That's when the real bombshell dropped. I realized logic was useless. Vance didn't want a vehicle to appreciate. He wanted a drivable prop for his vanity. I ordered them off my property. Then, the harassment shifted online. Vance uploaded a vicious video claiming I was illegally hoarding a custom truck he had personally financed, and that Elias supported me blocking it. He had a massive following of gullible fans, so the internet believed him. My shop was review bombed. Vendors called me. Even if it were true, I had the right to say no. So, I called Vance and lied. I said the negative press was destroying my margins and I was reconsidering. I invited him to the shop and suggested we go live to announce the handover and clear my reputation. He agreed instantly. On the live stream, I smiled and let him talk. I asked what his maintenance schedule would be for the carbureted engine. He giggled, adjusted his designer sunglasses, and bragged that he'd just park it in the VIP rows at car meets. Then he said he'd install underglow. The chat started turning, but he didn't notice. I asked what he'd do when the timing belt slips. Everything slowed down. He blinked. He smirked. Then he waved his hand. I don't do grease. I stared at him. He doubled down. If it stalls, you tow it, fix the hard parts, and detail it before dropping it back at my penthouse. For a second, I just heard the pneumatic lift humming. Then I laughed. I asked on live if he was seriously stating he wanted me to do endless free manual labor and hand him a polished trophy whenever it was convenient. He got furious, bragged his aesthetic was worth more than my labor, and killed the feed. My lead tech had screen recorded everything. That evening, I posted the unedited video, the lunch demand, the shop visits, and his own answers on live. I tagged his sponsors and posted late so it would spread before he woke up. By dawn, the automotive community annihilated him. His followers dragged him for treating car culture like a dress-up game. Richard called me right away. Before he could speak, I told him the call was recording and I'd post it if they harassed me again. He hung up immediately. After that, silence. No more ambush visits. No more title demands. No more online lies. I couldn't tell if they finally felt ashamed or just scared of being exposed again.